Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Beyond CX with Box Fusion. I'm Andy Stevens. Joining me today is Caroline Carruthers. Caroline, welcome.
Hi again.
Last time we spoke, we started to dive into AI, data ethics and AI at the time, but we started to explore some of the power around AI, so we thought, why not carry on the conversation? Do you want to just introduce yourself for those who maybe haven't seen you before?
Of course. Hi, my name's Caroline Carruthers. I'm the Chief Exec of Carruthers & Jackson. I'm also the author of books like The Chief Data Officer's Playbook, Data-Driven Business Transformation and Halo Data. For my sins, I've also created the Chief Data Officer Summer School, which is a free resource we do every summer to help create the next generation of Chief Data Officers. And I also help organisations around the world get more from their data.
Cool. Thanks, Caroline. So I guess we're thinking back to where we left the conversation before, but something I wanted to explore with you, you can't escape reading about AI at the moment. I can't watch TV at the moment without every advert and every brand who talks to me talking about how they're AI enabling their whatever. So is it just marketing, or is there more to it than that?
Well, if you believe the adverts on TV, it's going to solve all our problems for us, isn't it? Personally, I think it's more marketing than anything else, depending on how you view it. And what I mean by that is, we've both worked in this industry for a little bit of time, not casting aspersions there, Andy, but, a little bit of time. And AI is nothing new to us. So technically, a chatbot is AI, or a chess program can be classed as AI. It's just the public consciousness about the word and the terms and how it's integrating has literally made it marketing's best friend right now.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of it's to do with how easy to consume something like ChatGPT was when it first burst on the scene. People could just touch it and play with it, and it, yeah, as you said, we've been working in this industry for a long time, and this stuff was kind of behind the curtains, if you like, and this suddenly brought it into the public consciousness, I guess.
But one thing that I do think that is probably confusing people is we are hearing the terms AI and Gen AI intermingled with each other. And you know as well as I do that there is a lot more to AI than just Gen AI. It's a very thin discipline in an otherwise big field. So I think that is a little bit of a disappointment for me right now. And I'm looking forward to more of the other things that we can do with AI. For example, one of the things that I'm quite surprised that we haven't seen more of is the parts of AI that I think have the potential to be truly fascinating is the ability for people who wouldn't technically class themselves as a technology person or a data person to interact with some quite advanced technology. So an example I would give is my dad. Bless him, I love my dad to bits. He's an incredible man. Ran his own business, was a miner. However, technology frightens the living bejesus out of him. However, he can talk to Alexa and he can ask questions, and we've been able to set things up in his house to make his house work better for him. He's the kind of person that I'm looking at going, there is an untapped market of being able to make this technology world, in fact, to be honest, the world we live in, much easier for people like him who would struggle otherwise. Yeah,
I totally agree. And I think in the business space, obviously with the work that we do around customer experience, we're talking to businesses all the time about how they can improve their customer experience, how they can do more with less. And there are some really powerful use cases for generative AI. And thinking about your accessibility point as well, even in the business setting, the ability to do this stuff in multi-language.
It's incredible.
You can spin things up very, very fast and support people in their native language, and your customer doesn't have to try and speak your business language of English or whatever it might be. You can.
The ability to summarize things. I don't know about you, but I hate reading legal documents. I have, but it wouldn't be the favorite pastime for me. As long as I know that a lawyer's probably checked it as well, but can you give me a 2-paragraph summary of what this is talking about? Makes my life much simpler. So I think there's some uses of this kind of technology that do impact us and make life easier, but I wouldn't say it's really been embedded at scale anywhere yet.
No, I agree. And I guess going back to the first point, people might say they're doing AI and may have done for some time. I think I hear people coming to us talking to us about AI now. I just translate it immediately to mean generative AI, and that's why you're talking about it, is because you've heard about this generative AI.
Well, my other favourite is we were working with a bank, and a really senior director in the bank went, Caroline, we'd like to talk about doing AI, and I'm looking at all the technology they have available to you. And I went, great, this is the easiest job I've ever done, because you already are. And they just weren't aware of some of the things they were talking about that they were already doing that would be classed as AI, because there is that little buzzword nature about it. There's definitely more senior people talking about it than ever before. And while there's a little bit of me going, oh, please goodness, can we get some of the basics right? Can you think about the purpose behind what you're trying to do? There's also that effort of, well, actually, if it means that we can do useful things with the organisation, if you can help your organisation improve customer experience and things like that, then this is a train we can get on.
If there's a real problem to solve.
If there's a real problem to solve, and not just that my fridge is going to take over the world and solve all my problems. Great.
So I'm going to quote, or not quote, I'm going to lift an idea from one of your books, actually.
Oh.
So I was flicking through your first book, The CDO's Playbook, and you talk in one of the chapters in there about assisting, so you're really talking about assisting new CDOs with how to avoid the hype cycle, referring to the Gartner hype cycle. And you talk about some tools and tactics within there. Would you say those are things that can be applied to this generative AI space that we're in now and can be deployed to resist?
Very much so. I hadn't thought about it in that way until you mentioned it, but yes, absolutely. Because one of the things that we were talked about during the hype cycle and how you can modify it and make it work for a new chief data officer is actually about expectation setting. And that alone would be a useful thing to do when it comes to AI, because it's easy to jump to the whole, we can solve world peace, we can solve all the big problems. Can you do it in the next 3 weeks? And can you make a big difference before people get turned off the subject? So proper expectation setting, being realistic and honest, but also still understanding that you have to tell a story and convey the good parts of it. So you bring people on this hearts and minds journey with you is definitely something that can make a big difference, both for new chief data officers, but also for organisations understanding AI more going forward as well. And the other side of it to look at as well is anybody who knows the hype cycle knows that at some point in time you will come off that cliff. There is a reality will hit, people will go on to something else that's new and shiny, and you have to have solved enough problems so you can pull back up and actually hit a plateau of usefulness for organisations. And I think, again, that also would tune very nicely with the whole AI debate right now.
Yeah, I think I've been worried for a little while now that some of the hype is becoming a little cynical, and people are now questioning projects that have failed. My suspicion is a lot of those have failed because they didn't set out with a clear problem to solve in the first place, or something that was realistic.
Well, I know if anybody's ever heard me speak, I use the word purpose quite a lot. And it is never more relevant when we're talking about things like AI, because if you don't have a solid purpose for what you're trying to do, if you don't fully understand the problem that you're trying to solve or the value that you're trying to generate, you will fail because you're not trying to go in any direction. You're just going around in a circle. So that understanding of purpose is critically important. But the next stage was just understanding what good looks like for you. So what metrics will tell you you're successful or not successful. Running an experiment always should run the risk of, I haven't done what I said I would done, but I have learned something that I can tailor my next experiment for, or I will know a path not to go down next time. Those are useful uses of your time and effort, but you need to know what that looks like going into it. Just going into we're going to prove AI works is probably going to get you to hiding to nothing.
Yeah, and those having clear purpose and having clear metrics to measure your success by seem like good things to be doing on any program of work, really. Is there anything else that organisations need to be doing to become AI ready? I
think the other things that I would probably mention is I touched upon when you get a powerful tool, you want to solve world peace with it. You know, you really want to go for the big problems. But actually scaling it to do something small, scaling it to do something that you can demonstrate quite quickly, it gives you a few different things. One, it helps prove to people in your organisation that you can do this, you can solve problems using this kind of method. It also says what works and what doesn't in your organisation, so you learn a lot about the process involved in it as well. And the kind of problem that I would always recommend if you can, is what I would call a boiling the frog problem. Which I probably should come up with a better analogy for this because it's a little bit gross, but the idea being that in our organisations, if you put a frog into cold water, you can turn the water up and it will slowly heat. If you put a frog in, try and put it into boiling water, it will jump out because it's not stupid. But we're all in our organisations and the frog's been slowly boiled because there are things that we just put up with because they've always been like that. There was the report that it doesn't quite do what we want it to do, but it's good enough and we've lived with it because it's always been like that. It's those kind of problems. If you can fix one of those, then you can make a crucial difference to your organisation. Everybody gets that little bit of oh, that makes life easier. Yes, this is worth changing our behaviour or changing how we do things and can make a big difference to your organisation. So that would be not world peace, start small, find a boiling the frog problem.
I like it. I think we should close on the find a boiler frog problem. Thanks so much for coming on, Caroline.
Welcome.
Appreciate
Lovely
it again.
talking. Bye.
Thanks so much for joining us on the latest episode of Beyond CX with Box Fusion. Thank you. Till next time.